Here. All right, so welcome. Today I'm going to show you what I do to stay in control and manage my practice financials in less than 10 minutes a day. Okay. And of course, this comes from a lot of pain and suffering. Okay. So you let me know in the chat if you were like me when you started your private practice, because I ran away from the numbers. I ran away from numbers. I didn't have access to my numbers really, right? Because, I look at what the biller has done, but whatever you're seeing has come in from your biller. This is from months ago or maybe weeks ago. It's not real time. So I didn't have access to the data. And when I look at it, it's just overwhelming. Like there's the AR report, and there's a patient visit report, and there's all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, I don't know what to do with all of this stuff. And it wasn't in one place, it was all over the place. And I think the biggest problem was I didn't understand the data. I would look at an AR report. I don't know what that means. I couldn't make sense of it. So I couldn't make data-driven decisions. I made decisions based on my gut. I made decisions based on how I felt. I made decisions based on what other people were doing, but I couldn't really respond in real time and make decisions based on what was happening to my practice, which is not good. Okay. Okay. So really quickly here, let's see. Okay. So I'm going to walk you through how this is a problem, and then I'll show you the dashboard that I use now. Okay. Now, the real problem is not, oh, I'm uncomfortable looking at my numbers. The real problem is not my numbers overwhelming. The real problem is that it's too expensive to make decisions that are not based on data. It's just too expensive, right? And so when you make decisions and they're not from your data, you're making decisions many times based off of the wrong assumption. And you'll see when I show you the data. And so you're making decisions thinking this will work, but there's no way for it to work, right? Like for instance, you have, like a certain goal that you want to crush in your business, but you don't have data to show based on the state of your practice right now, you can never hit that goal ever. Like it can never happen because there's something else that is missing, right? You don't look at your AR trends. So if your people are not collecting copays, you don't know. If they're not collecting deductibles, they don't know. If your bill is not doing their work, you don't know. Like you just don't know. And it's so expensive. Like, okay, let's look at this, right? Let's say you weren't looking. And I'm looking down because I'm looking at my calculator here. Okay. So let's say you weren't looking and your front desk person was missing out. Maybe you have, 3 doctors working in your practice, and she was missing out on 4 copays per doctor. And they're seeing 25 patients a day. So no biggie, right? Okay. So 4 times 4 doctors, that's 16 copays she's missing. On average, let's say it's $40. Okay, that's $640 a day. $640 a day that is just being thrown away because many times you don't collect it in real time, especially now where, medical bills are not showing up on credit reports. They're just like, you can't do anything. And they just move to another practice. It's unbelievable. And so $640 a day times 260 working days in a year is $166,000. Like missing out that your front desk person is not collecting this is $166,000. You might say, oh, but we collect it later. But how much time does it take you to collect? How many letters do you have to send out? How many calls need to be made? That's all staff time. So it's costing you more money to do that. So let me know in the chat if you get it. Like it's too expensive not to know what is going on with your data. It's too expensive to not know that, oh, all these years we've seen 25 patients a day and now we're down to 20, but because it feels busy, because times are different, you don't know because you feel busy. So you're like, we must be seeing the same number of patients. No, you're down 5 a day. Again, let's do the math. So let's say your reimbursement per visit is $150 and you're down 5 a day. That's $750 a day. And that's $195,000 per doc. You're down almost 200 grand. You're down multiple 6 figures. And you didn't even know it because you don't see the data. So you don't know it. And so a lot of times in private practices, we don't necessarily treat our private practices as businesses. And because of that, we don't make data-driven decisions. A lot of times it's just not a thing that we've done. But this is a different year. This is 2025. Things are different. And as private practice owners, in a time when private practices are struggling or shutting down, one of the things we must be savvy. We must be savvy. Okay. So I'm going to walk you through the dashboard that I use now, but I want you to type it in the chat. You may go like, Dr. Una, this is not me yet. That's okay. Right. But we're just going to identify that way. I'm a savvy physician entrepreneur. Type it in the chat. I'm a savvy physician entrepreneur. You may say, oh, I don't like numbers. You bring people back from the dead. That is what coding is, right? You replace hearts, you replace lungs, you deliver babies, you do all these things. You can learn this too. This will be so much easier than what you've had to do to be a doctor. So type in the chat, I'm a savvy physician entrepreneur. Own it, own it. I'm a savvy physician entrepreneur. Okay. So can we win in 2025, especially in private practice, especially as people who are insurance-based? Of course we can, but the rules are different. They were different as of 2024. They're really different now. We just need to play by those rules. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to walk you through, and literally I'm just going to walk you through it. And this is something that I can look at from anywhere. And I can make all kinds of decisions based on it. And it's such a powerful tool. Okay. So you have questions, you can post those in the chat. I'm just going to walk through the dashboard here. Okay. All right. So here's the dashboard. Okay. So here's the dashboard and it looks at a number of things. So I'm going to walk you through some data points. Some of you are in the profitable private practice movement or you're in the EntreMD business school. So you may have seen this before. I still want you to lean into it, right? And I want to show you how I use this, okay? All right, so this is looking at the last 6 months, okay? So, like if you look over here, you'll see that I'm looking at data from the last 6 months, okay? And I just want to show you how I look at this data, okay? This is not my actual account. This is Dr. Smith Jones' account, okay? So we'll thank him for his honesty and his vulnerability, all right? So now, if you look at this, you'll see that, first of all, there's a goal, right? Dr. Smith has a goal for his practice, and his goal is that he has $802,785 coming in per quarter because he wants to do 3.2 million. That's his goal for the year, okay? He wants to do 3.2 million. Now, many people, to start with, do not even have a revenue goal for the year. Like, it's like, I'll just see the patients. That's what I'm there for. And all of this stuff, I'll do good medicine. The money will follow. But you're going to need a number. You're going to need a number. Okay, sometimes people don't want to set a number because they're afraid they don't hit the number. The number must not be hit, but we need something to strive towards, right? And sometimes you'll hit it and sometimes you'll knock it out the park and sometimes you'll fall short. But if you have a number, you're working towards the number, you end up in a better place than if you didn't have a number, right? Like, so the first thing is the goal. All the other stuff works backwards from there. So this number, every day when I log in, is there, right? So I know what I'm working towards and I can see where I am and all of those things, but this number is there. That's the first number. Now, the second number, you'll see this number here, and this number says capacity. So you'll notice that the goal is 802,785, but the capacity is 528,000. Let me explain what this means because you have to know what this number is. So based on the number of patient visits that Dr. Smith can accommodate in his practice, multiplied by how much revenue he's bringing in per visit, this is the most money that can be generated. He does not have the capacity to generate $802,000. This right here is a come to Jesus moment, right? It's like, I love your goal. Your goal is fantastic, but let's look at the data. Based on the data, there is no way you hit this number. Something has to change. It's either the revenue per encounter is different, right? Whether that's with better coding or you add ancillary services or whatever, or the number of patient visits you do is higher. And maybe your people are at capacity. So that means you need to hire another doctor, another clinician, whatever you're doing. Okay. And this data point here drives your decision. Like people ask me sometimes, how do I know when I'm ready to hire another doctor? I mean, like if you look at this and this is what you want to do, this goal is what you want to do, you need to hire somebody else. We're going to look at other things before you make that decision. But this immediately tells me the goal I set, can I hit it? And if I can't hit it, I can then make decisions. What do I need to do so I can hit it? Okay. In the chat, let me know if you're tracking, say I'm tracking. If you're tracking, say I'm tracking. Okay, this is super powerful, and this is the way we need to think. Okay, okay, good, good. All right. Now, the next number here, I love this number because, you know, when you get your report from the biller, this is things that happened a while ago. This tells you, based on the patients you've seen, the patient volume you've seen in the last 6 months, this is how much you can anticipate is coming in. So when you, because sometimes people say, I don't know what happened. The money that is coming in every month is much lower. With this dashboard, I don't run into that because I can already tell this is kind of the amount of money that's going to come in based on the volume that I have, right? Now, if you look at this estimated actual, you'll find out that it's higher than the capacity, which means the team that he has is running at full capacity. So it's not that, oh, I have to optimize my team. That's not what's happening. I need to raise my capacity, right? It's not the team. So the team is overperforming, actually, right? Okay. So when I come here, I can just look, okay, this is my goal. So my goal is not something I look at once in a year, once in a quarter. No, it's right there in front of me. I look at my capacity. So if I've shifted my capacity, I know. I look at how much money is going to be coming in. So I can look at them like, boom, okay, this is where we are. And how many seconds, I mean, I'm explaining it, so it's taking a little longer. But if I look at this in 1 minute, I've made the judgment call I need to make, right? Okay. So let's come and look at this other portion, and I'm going to move this to the last 6 months as well. Okay. So based on the revenue per encounter, if I wanted to create that $802,000, you know, it would require, see, 8,100 patients. My capacity is only 53. Again, you see that, right? Okay. Now, how many of you have been overwhelmed by your schedule, and then at the end of the day, you saw less patients that you wanted to, either people no-showed or whatever? Let me know in the chat. Like you walked in, you're like, oh my goodness, I can't believe how many people are on the schedule. And then at the end of the day, you're like, wait, what happened? Right? You spent all day telling people, oh, we don't have any same-day appointments, you can't come in. And then it was just light, right? Okay. So, or you have other doctors working with you and they're so stressed out about the schedule before they even get to work. Like, oh my goodness, this is the number of people they put on. But you factored in, you know, the number of people that are going to no show. You know all these things. So you're like, don't worry about the schedule. We've already always done right by you. Just see the patients. Okay. Okay. So here, this here shows that over this time period, this is the number of people who are on the schedule. Like as of the morning, these are the number of people that were on the schedule. But at the end of the day, these are the scheduled. This is the number of people who actually showed up. And so when you're creatively overscheduling or whatever you're doing, you can do it understanding the ratio because I got the numbers, right? I got the numbers. So I have choices. I can overschedule. I can build a missed appointment campaign so I can stop that behavior in my practice, whatever I want. But I have the numbers. So I'm not fooled when I see the schedule looking at 28 because I know what's going to happen, right? Okay. So how long will it take to look at this data? No time at all. But when somebody comes to me and says, I'm overwhelmed by my schedule, I can say, no, like the schedule looks that way because the schedule looks this way because this is where we're going to end up, right? And I look at this and I look at this number, I know, I need to change my capacity here because I don't have the capacity to hit my goal, or I change my goal, but something needs to change. How long does it take to do this? Maybe another minute, okay? All right, this is one of my fun parts. So, you know, Dr. Smith has a number of doctors working with him, and he has a doctor who comes and says, oh my goodness, I'm seeing too many patients. I can't handle it, right? And I can come in here, again, this takes 1 minute. And I'm like, Dr. Elton, the agreement we had when you started working here is we want you to see 24 patients a day. And the truth of the matter is over the last 6 months, if we do the average, you've seen 18 patients a day. So how sway, right? And there is this thing of feeling stressed out, That has nothing to do with reality. And please don't get me wrong. I'm not saying people don't work hard or anything like that. But if you don't have the data, people are like, because they've done it to me. Oh my goodness, Dr. Una, my schedule, and I'm overworked and I'm seeing so many patients every day. And I bring them over here and I'm like, yeah, no, it's 18. I mean, you may have some days you're seeing 23, but you're also having other days where you see 17. Like it's averaging out at 18. Is averaging out at 18. This ends so many conversations that you don't want to have. Okay. And so here I can come and I can see that. I can see who's pulling their weight. I can see who's not. I can look at these ratios, like who's generating the revenue, all of those things, right? If you then want to have bonus conversations, you're like, okay, whatever over this, we'll do this. And they can look at it. They have their own logins. I can set it up where they don't see the revenue, they see the patient visits, but we can set all that stuff up. And then the last thing that I look at is my accounts receivable, right? My AR, right? And this is something I always ran away from because I'm like, oh my goodness, please don't talk to me about this. But I can look at my AR days, right? So when I see a patient, between when I see a patient and when I get paid, how many days is that? On average, 26, right? And so I understand all the work we did for now is going to be a month before we see it. So what comes in the bank account is from what we did last month. So if last month was slow, I know what's about to happen. Like I can tell. I can say, okay, I don't like 26. I talked to the billing department. Okay, this is where we are. I want us to go down by 2 days, like a day or 2 days every month until we get to 16 days. That's where I want us to be, right? I can look at this and say, hey, Dr. Elton, it's taking you another 2 weeks to turn in your claims and all of those things. And because of that, our AR days are longer. But I'm paying you every month. And if I pay you every month, I kind of need you to turn in your stuff on time so we can generate the revenue to pay you, right? And so these are numbers, I can just look at this. And so if that number, and I can look at trends, as you can see down here. And so that number, I expect that to be going down or to be staying the same, depending on, where the number is. I can look, this is our outstanding balance. What is this number doing? What is the trend? Is that going higher? Are my people no longer collecting the co-pays, the deductibles? When I look at these numbers and I look at the trends, I can tell. Right? My 0 to 30 days, 31 to 60 days, like what do these numbers look like? Over 120 days, what's going on here? Why is this ballooning? Guys, between looking at these three things, I click through, I spend a minute to 2 minutes, and boom, done. Done. I know exactly what is going on in my practice. I know the decisions that need to be made. If I need to meet with the biller, I can pull up this dashboard. We can have the conversation around this. If I need to meet with a clinician, we can meet around that. Like if I'm talking to my front desk, we're talking about, it could be personal balances. It could be my scheduler with the patient visits. Like I can make all these. So it's not random decisions. I'm making decisions based on actual data. Okay. All right. Let me know in the chat if you're like, man, that's good. Good for you, Dr. Una. Good for you. But see, this is something we had been using spreadsheets. We had been using all kinds of things. But the thing is that this set it up where I am able to lead my practice with data. Okay, is where I'm no longer overwhelmed because I can click through 4 things and see what I need to see. Now, of course, there are trends and other things that I can see there as well, but I can lead my practice with data. I'm not overwhelmed. One of the benefits, like a lot of this data is self-reported. And so what that means is now, like my front desk, they would not necessarily see the revenue because you can filter what you want people to see, but they can see the patient visits and they're the ones who put in the patient visits. So what does that do? They're now aware of the patient, of the goals. Like in this practice, every month, this is the number of patients we want to see. This is the number of patients we want them to see, we want to see every day. So when they know the goal is 25 and every day they're putting in 18, they know like, okay, we didn't hit the goal. And automatically, your right team members will start thinking, what can we do to hit the goal? When somebody calls to make them an appointment, they're no longer saying, oh, we have no appointments to 2 weeks from now. And people have been known to do that, even though there were appointments. But they're like, we don't want to be bothered. But now your team is being trained to start thinking in terms of data and goals, right? You have a practice administrator. Now you have a tool to use. You can monitor this from anywhere. Anywhere. You just log in, boom, boom, boom. We're doing our thing. We're making decisions. And all of a sudden, the story that your data is telling you, you're able to understand the story, right? You're able to understand the story. So that's one of the things that it did for me. And it made everything like super clear, and I can make data-driven decisions, and I'm just comfy looking at numbers. I used to break out in hives thinking about numbers as a private practice owner, and my husband is an accountant by training. And so the thing was, he'd say, okay, we're going to meet with the accountant. We're going to do this. I'm like, I don't do that. I make babies. I don't do that. You can do that, right? I'm just going to hand that off to you. My billers, I'm just like, so what's going on? They're like, it's great. I'm like, great. There's money in the bank account. We must be doing good. I don't do that anymore. That is not terrible. It's a dangerous way to lead your practice, right? Because you need to be able to make data-driven decisions. Okay. So that's kind of what I've done for my practice. So the tool that we use is called Practice Pilot. It does have a 2-week trial. So if you want to do that, you can play around with it. But it's a powerful tool, and it has really changed the game for us. Okay. Okay. So if you have questions, you want to post those in the chat, I'm happy to answer that. I'm happy I get to let you guys go in a godly time. Okay, so Dr. Tino says, how is the amount for the different patient encounters harmonized with Practice Pilot? Is it integrated with the EMR? Okay, so because there are a million EMRs, it's not integrated with the EMR. The way we have it set up, and that's actually the way I wanted it, is that it takes 2 minutes, if that, for your team to put in the data. So when you set it up, you will set up how the number that's used, which is what even your practice management systems will use, is your average revenue per encounter, right? Like, so that's the number. You're going to put in that number. You're going to put in your clinicians, the number of days a week they're seeing patients, your goals, all of those things. You do that when you set up. Okay, we looked at the data. It's taking people, depending, if you have all your data in front of you, less than 5 minutes to set up. And then you use the average encounter. That's what is being used. So you're not putting in billing codes per se. Then once a month, you're putting in your AR report, and then it just generates all of that. The thing about it being integrated, one of the downsides is kind of like money that you got as a loan to start a practice versus money you earned. You spend it a lot better if you earned it. The process of putting it in, it is like coaching for your team. Like, really, it is coaching for your team. So that's the way you put it in. And so the daily reports, it takes less than 2 minutes to put everything in. And then you just see everything. I know, send you reminders if you're behind. I get some of those. I get some of those. Okay. Any other questions or any other ahas or something you're walking away with, or you're doing a free trial? Any of those, just let me know in the comments. Or if you're like, thank you, Dr. Una, for sharing this, I'll take that too. Okay, but that's the tool that we use. I'm going to show you here. Hold on, let me share my screen. Yeah, so this is the tool. It's called Practice Pilot. It's practicepilot.io. And then really it's all about giving you those insights, right? So you can make your data-driven decisions. I didn't go into all the trends and stuff, but there are tons of trends that you can see there. And then that's the pricing depending on the tier. The tier we use is the custom tier, is the platinum tier, because you get custom metrics. So you can add your own, whatever special metrics you want to put in there, you can add that as well. So that's what we use. But yeah, you can do a 2-week free trial if you want to check it out, and then take it from there. Okay. All right. So this was so good. Let me know in the chat. This was good. Good use of 27 minutes. Let me know in the chat. Was it a good use of 27 minutes? But I want you to leave with this. We are savvy physician entrepreneurs. We cannot lead our practices by our gut. We cannot lead our private practices by, like what I kind of felt. We cannot make decisions that cost money without having data. We have to make data-driven decisions. And even when somebody tells you, I want to raise, and you're like, yes, and I want you to get a raise. Now let's talk about how we can make that happen. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, so there are all these things we need to do, because yes, reimbursements, for those of us that are insurance-based, reimbursements are doing what they're doing. But let me tell you the truth. Medicare cuts were 2.83%. And if you manage based on data, I mean, when I consult with private practices, I am telling you that you can start, you can easily recoup 6 figures in an established practice easily because of the amount of waste that we have in our practices, right? And so, yes, we're going to come after Medicare. We're going to do all of that. But first of all, let's put those oxygen masks on ourselves and make our practices better, make them more efficient, make data-driven decisions. Business is an economic sport. It's not an emotional sport. It's an economic sport. You gotta know how to score. You have a business, okay? So we make data-driven decisions. Okay, so I'm going to shut this down. I'm going to come answer your question. Okay. All right. All right. So everyone, that's what I have for you. So you can go try it out. You can go do the free trial and go make data-driven decisions. Identify now as a savvy physician entrepreneur. And I can't wait to see you win. But don't subscribe to the lie that we're all doomed and, everything is going to, it's not. Okay. All right. Rooting for you.